This is Friendship 7, having no trouble at all eating, very good. In the periscope I can see the brilliant blue horizon coming up behind the approaching sunrise, over. Roger, Friendship 7, you're very lucky. You're right, man, this is beautiful. This is Friendship 7, have eaten one tube of food, shutting the visor. Have had no problem at all eating. Oh, the sun is coming up behind me in the periscope, a brilliant, brilliant red, over. Roger. This is Friendship 7, it's blinding through the scope on clear. It's started up just as I gave you that mark. I'm going to the dark filter to watch it come on up. Roger. Bye. This is Friendship 7. I'll try to describe what I'm in here. I'm in a big mass of some very small particles that are brilliantly lit up like they're luminescent. I never saw anything like it. They're around they're coming by the capsule, and they look like little stars, a whole shower of them coming by. They swirl around the capsule and go in front of the window, and they're all brilliantly lighted. They probably average maybe 7 or 8 feet apart, but I can see them all down below me also. Can you hear any insights from the capsule? Negative. They're very slow. They're not going away from me more than maybe 3 or 4 miles per hour. They're going at the same speed I am, approximately. They're only very slightly under my speed. Over. They do have a different motion, though, from me, because they swirl around the capsule and then depart back the way that I am looking. Are you receiving? Over. There are literally thousands of them. This is Friendship 7. Am I in contact with anyone? Over. This has been going on since about 1+15, over. Just after I remarked about the sunset, I looked back up and looked out the window, and all the little swirl of particles was going by, over. Friendship 7 broadcasting in the blind again on HF. This is Friendship 7 broadcasting in the blind. Sunrise has come up behind in the periscope. It was brilliant in the scope, a brilliant red as it approached the horizon and came up. And just as I looked back up out the window, I had literally thousands of small luminous particles swirling around the capsule and going away from me at maybe 3 to 5 miles per hour. Now that I am out in the bright sun, they seem to have disappeared. It was just as the sun was coming up. I can still see just a few of them now, even though the sun is up some 20 degrees above the horizon. Hello, Weymouth Contact. Weymouth Contact. This is Friendship 7. Receive you HF loud and clear. How me, over.
Friendship 7, Friendship 7, this is Capcom. We're really glad over right now. Understand the north. What is your status, over?
This is Friendship 7 on HF. My status is excellent. Everything is going according to plan. Control fuel is 90100. Oxygen is 72101. Amps 22, over.
Roger, Friendship 7. Would you repeat your oxygen, please? Over.
This is Friendship 7. Oxygen is 72101. Over.
Roger.
Roger, this is Friendship 7. Understand everything looks okay.
When the water temperatures are rising slightly, but everything is okay right now.
Roger, Friendship 7. This is Friendship 7. I still have some of these very small particles coming around the capsule, over.
Friendship 7, contact, please, over.
This is Friendship 7. Just as the sun came up, there were some brilliantly lighted particles that looked luminous that were swirling around the capsule. I don't have any in sight right now. I did have a couple just a moment ago when I made the transmission to you, over.
Roger, Friendship 7.
This is Friendship 7 for the record. The number 2 film that I am putting in the camera is the number 4 roll.
We have about 3 minutes yet before we have telemetry. I'll give you your retro sequence time for area 2 Alpha Alpha Hotel. Area 2 Alpha 013638.
This is Friendship 7. Stand by. I'm not ready to copy yet. I'm changing film in the camera, over.
Roger, we're standing by.
is Friendship 7 going back and using the number 2 roll if I can get hold of it. Negative. Number 2 is missing, using number 3. This is Friendship 7. I was making a transmission for the record here on what film I was loading. Over. Roger, this is Friendship 7 going to UHF. Hello, one is Friendship 7 on UHF. Do you receive? Over.
Roger, Friendship 7, loud and clear.
Roger, this is Friendship 7, loud and clear with you also. Are we still go from Control Center? Over.
Roger, we're still go.
Roger, Friendship 7. All systems are go in the capsule. I still have some of these little particles coming around the capsule occasionally here. I can see them against the dark sky even on the day side. Over.
Roger, understand. Friendship 7, ground. Do you want your emergency times now?
This is Friendship 7, ready to copy.
Area 2 Alpha 013638. Area Golf 030041.
Say again, area golf, please. Over.
Area Golf 030041.
Roger, area golf is 03 plus 00 plus 41. Is that a firm?
Affirmative. Area Hotel is 043240.
Roger, 04 plus 32 plus 40 for hotel.
Friendship 7, Garnet, if you have a chance, could you give us a blood pressure check?
Roger, Friendship 7, we'll give blood pressure check. I still have some of these particles that I cannot identify coming around the capsule occasionally. Over.
Roger, how big are these particles?
Very small. I would indicate they're of the order of a 1/16 of an inch or smaller. They drift by the window, and I can see them against the dark sky. Just at sunrise, there were literally thousands of them. It looked like just a myriad of stars. Over.
Roger, are they moving by you or floating with you? Over.
Some of them float almost with me. Most of them appear to be moving at about 3 to 5 miles an hour away from me. I'm going just a little faster than they are. Over.
Roger. Capcom, we have a scope retract indication on the ground here. I believe it's ground failure. That's it, over.
That is affirmative. The scope is extended. The scope is extended. Over. This is Friendship 7. A lot of cloud cover. I cannot see land yet. Over. This is Friendship 7. The yaw is drifting out of orbit attitude. We'll bring it back in. Over. Only really unusual thing so far beside ASCS trouble were the little particles, luminous particles around the capsule, just thousands of them, right at sunrise over the Pacific. Over. Hello, Canary Capcom, Friendship 7. I read you loud and clear. How may? Read you loud and clear. This is Friendship 7. I did not read you clear. I read you loud but very garbled. Over. This is Friendship 7. I did not think they were from my control jets. Negative. Over. Roger, this is Friendship 7, and now that sunrise is starting, I have all these little particles coming around the capsule again, just at sunrise. Roger, Friendship 7. I also can see the light on my, on steam from the thruster when I operate it. Over. Roger, Friendship 7. Are your thrusters working? Are all your high thrusters working okay? Over. This is Friendship 7, affirmative, operating okay. This is Friendship 7. I think I can see a little bit of steam spitting against the dark sky here occasionally from my pitched down manual thrust. Over. Roger. This is Friendship 7. All these little particles, there are thousands of them, and they're not coming from the capsule. They're something that's already up here. Because they're all over the sky, way out. I can see them as far as I can see in each direction almost. Well, I think they probably thought these particles I saw might have come from that. But there are thousands of these things, and they go out for, it looks like miles in each direction from me, and they move by here very slowly. I saw them at the same spot on the first orbit. Over. Roger. Are you still seeing the particles around your capsule? Negative. I don't seem to see them around here on this side. I saw a few, just a few, just after I left Canaveral and turned around facing forward. They were coming toward me at that time. I was going, so I know that they are not coming from the capsule at all. I saw the particles in huge quantities at each sunrise so far. Over. Say again, Friendship 7. The particles I saw were mainly at sunrise each time around. Over.
A lot of brilliant, well-trained engineers and scientists on the ground heard John say, I see things out there that look like fireflies. This large body of expert intellect was all of a sudden wondering, are there living creatures out there? Because John called them fireflies.
I had heard nothing hit the spacecraft or no malfunction I could see from the instrumentation. And so it was a big surprise to look out and see all these little flakes. And fireflies is exactly what they look like. That's the way I described them. On the next flight, Scott Carpenter tapped the side of the spacecraft and a whole shower of them went off.
They were flakes of frost that came from the water that the cabin and suit heat exchangers exhausted, and they became inanimate pieces of ice. And it was an interesting discovery.
I don't know that anybody ever fully explained why the luminous color, though, right at sunrise, as the first light of sun came on the little particles, because that was the strange part of it. But that was very surprising, and it didn't pose any danger, but it was there at each sunrise.
Copy.
Roger, we hear you loud and clear. For the upcoming mode 34, at step 33, we want you to roll the CIRIS gimbal to positive 30 degrees prior to MPC execute. Press.
Okay, we'll set tangent height at 90 and roll plus 30 degrees on the gimbal before we start it running.
Roger, that'll protect you from the ram.
Understand.
We are currently receiving downlink from Discovery as it passes over the Pacific Ocean. Once again, the CIRIS is part of the AFP 675. The problems that have occurred with the two tape recorders on AFP 675 have had no impact on CIRIS. CIRIS is performing quite well. The community, the payload community working with that particular instrument is very happy with the data that they've received. CIRIS is the primary payload on AFP 675. The recorders in question are related to the secondary payloads, specifically the FAR UV, which performs imaging and photometry of natural and man-made ultraviolet emissions, the Uniformly Redundant Array, or URA, which measures spectral and spatial characteristics of the Earth's horizon, and QIMS, the Quadrupole Ion Neutral Spectrometer, which determines and identifies contamination for CIRIS. The loss of those recorders is not a complete loss of data for the AFP secondary community. We still will be able to get some real-time data from those instruments.
we concur. And just a few comm notes for you. We're going to command the PSP off for you as part of the UARS closeout procedure. You might get some messages that you can ignore. Also, we're reconfiguring the telemetry formats to 103 and 161 from the ground.
Okay, we copy, and on my panel I'm showing tank 1 manifold valves closed for O2 and H2, and the react valve is talkback is open.
Copy, and we like your config.
Okay, thanks.
Discover Houston, while you're looking at Orion, we're getting a pretty tremendous light show. We're looking at the lightning on the Earth.
Yeah, I was looking at that myself, and looks like we're coming up on sunrise.
and just a heads up, we're heading off the nose, may get some radicom.
Okay, Jan, thanks.
Discovery Houston for JO.
Yeah, Jan, go ahead.
Morning, JO. We predict the maneuver to the supply water dump attitude will take about 15 minutes, and in order to start the dump on time, we'd like for you to do that maneuver now. We need it to prevent contamination.
Okay, I understand you want us to start the supply water dump now, or at least initiate the maneuver now.
We'd like for you to initiate the maneuver, and then when you get there, initiate the water dump.
Understand.
Columbia and the satellite now 77 nautical miles apart. Again, that call reporting that the crew can see the tether and see the satellite. It's beautiful. This view showing the satellite. Again, just moving into sunrise. 81 nautical miles now from Columbia.
Guys getting the image?
Franklin, we see a long line, a couple of star-like things, and a lot of things swimming in the foreground. Can you describe what you're seeing?
Well, the long line is a tether, and there's a little bit of debris that kind of flies with us, and it's illuminated by the sun at such low angle. So there's a lot of stray light, and it's getting washed out quickly, but Claude is trying to do a quick, good job here adjusting the cameras.
Copy that.
Again, that description by the crew, this is the tether in the satellite with approximately 12 miles of tether still attached to it. Columbia and the satellite now just passing over the west coast of northern Africa. The two spacecraft now 90 nautical miles apart. Controllers for the satellite did have communications with it during the close pass between Columbia and the satellite.
Columbia, Houston, that's a much better view, a lot more contrast visible. And how wide does that tether appear to be? It seems to resemble a much wider strand than we'd expect. Can you describe which way the satellite is visible on that strand?
Satellite now 100 nautical miles.
Charlie, completely unzoomed, and you see the full extent of the tether. I try to adjust the focus, but I can't get better than that.
Okay, Claude. Thank you.
I'm going to zoom in now.
Columbia, Houston, we're looking at our payload bay camera, and it looks like a lot of moonlight glinting off the ocean, a whole sparkling bed of diamonds out there. Is that a real picture, or are we just getting some video fuzz?
Hey, Houston, we're recording that. That's some of the ice crystals that we were dumping out earlier, and yeah, it's a beautiful picture.
That's a great combination of the moonlight and the ice and the clouds.
Yeah, it's a combination of moonlight making those ice crystals sparkle, and maybe as well as some of the sun starting to come up on the horizon.
Well, thanks for the picture.
Houston, Columbia, reference to call out on the flight plan at 11 hours MET. Is there a target state vector on board?
Affirmative. We have a new target vector on board. Go ahead for wake shield.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're taking some downlink television video from the payload bay cameras of the Space Shuttle Columbia. These are some of the low-light cameras looking back at the Wake Shield facility, the larger of the two discs, and the Orpheus Spa satellite behind it. The three spacecraft with Columbia in the lead, followed by Wake Shield and then Orpheus Spas, are at an altitude of about 217 miles, orbiting the Earth once every 90 minutes at a speed of about 17,500 miles an hour.
So there's our two satellites. And Dom, do you want me headed downlink wake shield now.
Hey, Story, stand by. We're enjoying this right now, but we're talking about it.
Okay.
Again, this evening's docking is timed precisely so that the two spacecraft will be over Russian ground stations. And the docking is just a little bit more than 42 minutes away, still on schedule to occur at about 9:34 this evening Central Time, 10:34 p.m. Eastern Time.
Зависание, да?
Да. Отлично.
Так, у нас день...
Ну, вы же в Киев летаете.
Придется висеть в тени, да? Сейчас посмотрим огоньки, если...
If you heard a song on Air to Ground 2 from somewhere. We heard one from somewhere, Charlie. Oh, we apologize if we're a little out of tune, and probably means we got to keep our day jobs. We were singing the Russian cosmonaut song that was an air crew on departure. That's what we thought it was.
I guess that means it was so bad you weren't quite sure.
Rockets are trailing by 6 at the half.
Go Rockets.
Put your hat on.
You bet. Скоро будет заход солнца, и еще будет красивее.
О, Майкл, спасибо.
Майкла, 100 рублей убытка. Это красивее там.
And Atlantis is now 2,800 feet beneath the station. The opening rate increasing as Atlantis moves beneath the station as orbital mechanics begin to take over. The opening rate now 4.5 feet per second. Now passing through 2,900 feet beneath the station.
600 feet was the cliff for TCS today. You have a go to take your KU to radar? Okay, we'll do that now. And for your info, Carlos and Jean-Francois and Ed Lou's families are all up here in the back room watching the whole thing. Real happy to be part of your operation.
And to test these heat pipes in space, the on-orbit spacecraft electronics are packed fairly tightly together and tend to generate high levels of heat, which tend to limit their performance as it would with equipment here on Earth. So the heat pipes are designed to remove the heat from the electronics.
Atlantis is approaching sunrise as it approaches the Great Lakes area. This a view of Chicago, and also some ice crystals or other items being illuminated by the rising sun. Atlantis moving into sunrise in just about the next minute or so. As that occurs, ice crystals or water that's been dumped overboard from the shuttle is always illuminated in the close vicinity of the spacecraft. Again, that view of Chicago, though, and the shore of Lake Michigan.
The instrumentation communications officer here in Mission Control operating the payload bay cameras with reflections in the camera lens as it looks past the Space Shuttle Atlantis.
Digital downlink.
We do see that.
Okay. That's looking out in front of the orbiter.
Okay, we're seeing 3 or 4 objects. Can you confirm that it's just the one that's actually moving, the other ones are just reflections?
No, there are 3 objects. The one you see 2 rings right there. They're the ones we kind of had the late tally-ho on. The one down the bottom, that was the one we initially saw that appeared to be foil. So we've got like 2 rings and then the piece of foil. The piece of foil seems to be further in front with the grounding strap on. It seems to be further in front of the other 2, and the other 2 seem to be about the same equidistant from both us and the forward one.
Copy that.
The crew actually commanding this payload bay camera to look at the objects observed out the flight deck windows.
Atlantis.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how close we are to the trajectory flown by the Soyuz.
This is Mission Control Houston, with you with live video from the Space Shuttle Discovery, docked with the International Space Station as they are orbiting at an altitude of 213 statute miles. In this view, you can see thunderstorms and lightning as the vehicles are just crossing over the coast of South America. They're making their way on a southeasterly course, traveling 17,500 miles per hour.
On the dark side of the Earth, as it is now, at least for the next 5 to 6 minutes, the low light level black and white cameras are much better at observing the Earth's surface and the star clusters as the orbiter passes high overhead. When the orbiter moves within a daylight pass, the color cameras in the payload bay are used to
the screen way to the left-hand side.
And
we've seen a lot of meteors.
The streaks that are shooting across the screen are meteorites. In other words, shooting stars.
We think you can see a flashing light just a little bit to the left of the center of the screen, very faint.
Yeah, we do see something flashing visually, but we're not sure that might be from our own leaker.
Near sunrise in about a minute.
Okay.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, we believe we were just able to spot the Mir spacecraft as it flies about 850 nautical miles behind Discovery. The spacecraft appeared as a very small flashing light and then moved out of the picture as the camera was being moved to try to get a different picture. The one thing that we have noticed in the flight control room is that we've seen a large number of shooting stars during this 5-minute or so period when we've been watching.
Checkpoint initiates and work.
Thank you.
During this 5 or so minute period when we've been watching for Mir.
Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Шаттл находится почти под вами. Дальность 600 футов. И я думаю, вы его не увидите, потому что он для вас по третьей плоскости. Шаттл прошел вертикаль под вами, и облет идет с удвоенной орбитальной скоростью. То есть за полвитка.
To return to Earth following their mission.
And Columbia, Huntsville for Scott. If you haven't adjusted the 35 millimeter intervalometer yet, you could adjust that to 2 seconds. If you've already passed that step, that's no problem, and you can proceed.
Okay. We'll go to 2 seconds on the intervalometer. It's no problem. Just take a couple seconds to reset it. And is sample 7 looks like a different material than the last one.
And Columbia for Scott, that should be the same type of material.
Okay, is it thicker, or is it, because it looks like it might be a little thicker?
No, it seems like it appears that way, but it should be the same thickness.
Okay, and we modified the thermocouples, as you said, and we'll modify the camera settings, and it'll be a few more minutes before we're finished setting up.
Okay, copy that, Scott. That camera was something that they noticed in their last data run.